This week, you'll learn how to do green screen effects inside of Final Cut Pro 10.
AdoramaTV presents DSLR Video Skills, where you'll learn all about photography and videography. Here's your host, Rich Harrington.
Hi, my name is Rich Harrington, and welcome to this week's episode of AdoramaTV. Today, we're going to take a look at keying inside of Final Cut 10, and I want to go ahead and show you how all the pieces come together. Now, earlier we tackled keying and had a whole episode all about lighting it and shooting it and all the things you needed to know. If you missed that episode, be sure to check it out. The thing with keying is it really is a combination of how you shoot it and how you post-process it. And if you don't do both parts right, it looks like a bad movie. All right, let's put the pieces together. In Final Cut 10 here, I've got a new event, and I'll just name it for the project here. Let's call this keying. And I'm going to go ahead and import those files. There we go. Looks like I've got some images in here. I've got my movie file. I'm going to grab my movie clip and my backgrounds that I've already processed. We covered how to build those backgrounds in an earlier episode when we showed you some Photoshop tricks. And that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and import that in. Because I've got material here that's DSLR, I am going to go ahead and let it create optimized media, making that a little more compatible with Final Cut Pro 10. And we'll click Import. Those assets get added into the project. If you want to check progress, you can click the little spinning icon here where you see the numbers in progress, and that'll tell you how the media transcode is going. So I see pretty quickly here that it's analyzing that video clip, and it's going to go ahead and output a final video file that is ProRes here in just a second. I expect those background stills won't take very long since they're just a single frame. All right, that's all done. Let's go ahead and make a new project. Click OK. And as I drag in my first clip here, it's going to go ahead and set the timeline. Now I can mark out the part that I want. We'll take this part right here. There we go, into my timeline. And let's put a few of the backdrops in. Now, when I put these in, they all fall sequentially. And what I'm going to do is pull this up and drop it, and it becomes an attached clip. Now, which background you put it over is going to depend, so as you drag there, you'll notice that it does indeed attach to that clip and will move with it. So you might have to be careful as you're making some of those initial decisions. All right, let's set that on the frame. I'll select this here, and one of the first things I'm going to do under the video category is a basic crop. This is called a garbage mat, and what I'm going to do is trim away some of that extra area where we're seeing the C-stand and the clamp on the backdrop. And it looks to me like I could just take that in a little bit. Looks pretty good there. Get right past the edge. And if I need to, I can go ahead and click here and get interactive handles, and that's another way to do the cropping. Now, as I make that adjustment, I need to make sure I click Done, so it goes ahead and applies the crop, and then we'll drag the keyer on. Now, it's giving us a decent preview there, and I could drop that on the clip, and it looks pretty good, but it's not perfect. You particularly see down here next to the shadow that we've got a little bit of a hard fringe. Let's go ahead and click Sample Color here, and I will set this to show me the original. And I'm just going to click and drag to set my sample. There we go. And notice we could change our views. If I'm viewing this as the transparent mat, it looks great except right here next to the shoulder. So I'm going to click on the middle button here so I could see the mat a bit better. And what I want to do is play with the sliders here until I really dial that in. So I'll twirl down Matte Tools, and I could pull these levels in. And look as I drag that black slider, how things get pushed to a clean black. Same thing here on the white. I can go ahead and push that, and then play with the middle slider to deal with any soft edges. If necessary, we can soften that up just a bit with the soften slider. And erode is going to go ahead and eat into that edge if necessary to clean it up. At this point, I'll switch over and just take a look, and let's play with the road. We don't want to go too far, but a little bit there seems to help with the edges. That's looking pretty great. Let's just scroll down there, and I'm going to turn on Spill Suppress, and this is going to go ahead and remove any green fringe at the edge. That's helping a little bit, although there's not much. And then, very importantly, the light wrap amount, which will take the background and start to wrap it around our subject. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. You see that we're able to knock that backdrop out. And if you want, you can go ahead and just drag that and attach it to some other clips if you'd like to see it over some different backdrops. Remember, as you start to do that composite, it's not uncommon to choose to process this backdrop. With that selected, you can always take advantage of some of the transformation controls, adjust the size, click the box here to get free position if you want to go ahead and move that a bit. And if necessary, you can always tweak things here. Let's just go to the blur category here. We'll do a little bit of a directional blur. Drop that on. That's helping. Or we can go ahead and try something a little bit stronger, such as a Gaussian blur. And that definitely softens it out as well. Remember, you can always turn that off and on with a toggle. Let's just tweak the shot here. In this case, it's a little bit bright. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my adjustments. With the clip selected here, I'll click on the video effect, and we'll just come down here to the color corrector. And I'll take advantage of exposure here and adjust the exposure, putting a little more pop into the shadows there so it matches that shadowy area. Adjusting the midtones. And he needs just a little bit of a saturation adjustment here. He's got too much color in there. So I'll pull that down, a little bit out of the highlights, a little bit more out of the midtones. And I can make a color adjustment, and you see we could push that until the color feels like it's a better match. Now, if you want to do that globally, that works. As you pull up, it's going to get more saturated or less. I think that's looking pretty good, and I'm happy with that overall composite. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward approach with Final Cut 10. The keyer in it is very fast and very effective. Tweak things, play with exposure, and remember, always take the time to try to match the color of the foreground to the background. Ideally when you shoot it, but oftentimes that's going to happen during the post-production stage. For Adorama TV, my name's Rich Harrington. Thanks for joining us for DSLR Video Skills, and be sure to head on over to the Adorama Learning Center, where there is a ton of articles as well as videos that you can check out to learn more about Final Cut 10 as well as green screen.
Adorama TV is brought to you by Adorama, your best source for the equipment and knowledge you need. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. Place your order by 7 p.m. and it ships the same day. Plus, the next time you're in New York City, be sure to visit our store located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue. Check out the Adorama Rental Company for professional cameras, lighting, computers, and more. We'll help you make the best selection to match your needs while giving you the knowledge to achieve the best outcome from your rental. Adorama is your complete solution for equipment, printing, training, and more. Adorama, more than a camera store.